Mm, Good day, family. I hope everything is going well with you. Again, I'm going to thank you for joining me again for another Sabbath. And it's always grateful for you all to receive me into home or wherever location you in or your phone and give me a like every once in a while. And I appreciate that. And, I do this out of my heart to truly try to help people and it's not a personal thing that I get. I'm trying to get something out of it. Truly is to help others. And with that, brothers and sisters, let's bow our heads and let's pray. Father Yah, we come to you once again today. Come to you hoping and praying that someone receives something from this that is helpful to them. Father Yah, this is not about me. Father Yah, I know. But I pray that my words may touch someone, teach someone something, build something in their heart, in their mind, to help them get closer unto you. Father Yahweh, I just want to thank you for everything you've done, you're doing, and you're going to do. Thank you for your peace and your love. Thank you for my family and my friends. Thank you for the words that you give me to speak and the teachings that you give me to teach. Father Yah, I just want to thank you, Tawada, for everything. Father Yah, continue and look after those who are in need, Father Yah, I pray. Those who are trying to get closer unto you, those who are seeking your word in righteousness, those who are keeping your laws, statutes, and commandments. Father Yah, I just pray for each and every last one of them that you physically help them mentally, spiritually, financially. Father, touch them in every way so that they may grow in you. Father Yah, and we want to thank you, me and all of us who serve you and your children, for your son, Mashiach Yahushua, for doing what he has did for a people. And I keep saying that it's not worthy. But yet, he saw worthiness in us. The water, Mashiach Yahushua. The water. We want to pray all this through your son, Mashiach Yahushua's name, Father Yahweh. Hallelujah. 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 All right, family. Today I want to talk to you about how do we maneuver through what is coming. So how do we maneuver through what is coming? I mean, we always hear about all these things are coming. You know, the Bible talks about war and the horrific things in Revelation that are coming. How do we maneuver through it? Now we can talk about a lot of things, but we need answers to real situations and real day events that are happening in our lives every day. And this is what I'm going to talk to you today about. How do you maneuver through these things? You know, but first thing we got to understand is first we need to accept where we are right now. So you don't know how to maneuver through it if you can't accept to where we are right now. So where are we? Where are we? Now some people who live in a world where they don't look at news or they don't associate with people or they ostracize themselves and they keep to themselves, they may see themselves somewhere that you may not see them because they choose to be ignorant to what is going around them. But the truth will be the same whether you receive it or you don't. A lie will be a lie whether you receive it or you don't. So what I mean by that, where we are right now, you asked me where we are. Now I'm an avid person on watching news and getting info and studying. You know, we are in a physical war, a spiritual war, an AI war, a social war, and a global communication war. And what I mean by that is that what I mean exactly what it said. We are at war in all these areas. Now, I'm not going to break down these areas today, but not like you think. Physical war, I'm going to just describe to physical harm to your body. Spiritual war is the battle of religion and the demons and all the thoughts that go in your head that teaches you or try to get you to do the unrighteous thing. Those are your spiritual wars. The AI war is simple. The AI war now is learning the truth from what is true and what is not. With this AI, you can no longer just come to the conclusion of what you see. What you see is the truth. You know, the AI war is a battle that's going to be hard to fight. Um, I mean, all the battles, all these wars are hard, but the more AI get intrusive into our lives, the more reality tend to evaporate because now you can be who you want. You can see things that are not necessarily true, but physically you can watch them with your bare eyes. Now the social world war is that's another war. That's the civil war that people talk about, war against nations and different mentalities, MAGA and Democrat and Republicans. All these are the social wars that we see today. Now, my thing is, I'm neither a Democrat or a Republican. Uh, they're both two sides of the same coin. They both are Confederate against us. One just openly, blatantly racist, the Republican Party, and the other just slides the knife in your back quietly and pretends to be your friend. Now you're independent. You're independent. I mean, personally, I don't vote anymore because I understand the biblical. The Bible said that if it ain't the leaders of my nation, they say, "I'm give you," then I'm not voting for them. And my nation is the chosen people. So now let them go at it. Let them have their way. Let them nominate whatever racist prick they want to put in there, or none pretend to be not racist, like Biden. Don't get me wrong, Biden is not as racist as Trump, but he was racist. You know, well maybe he is. Who knows? He just hides it better. But the point is, either way, it doesn't matter. They're all Confederate against me and you if you look like me. So you have these wars, you know, in the global communication war. That one is is one that we see throughout the world. That's the projection that they have of the chosen. That's why we hate it all over the world. It don't matter where we go, we're hated. And that's a crazy thing for me because I've been in a lot of places and I could not understand how they could hate me so much, but they imitate me so much. And even if I could be in when I was young, I could be in a club in Paris in the middle of the night and they playing nothing but our music. People dressing like us, you know, having games on the games during the club where they project things on the wall and they ask questions about American and American music and it's always about us. But yet at the same time I can go to a club and they won't let me in. This is when I used to go to clubs a long time ago and because I was black. But yet they playing my music in there. Makes no sense. They're coming up to me, imitating me, trying to be well, I guess they would call cool because they watch too many TV movies. You know, it's kind of funny. It makes you laugh, but you know, it is what it is. So we have all these type of wars right now going on right now. And again, we have the physical war, we have the spiritual war, we have the AI war, we have the social war, we have the global communication war, but they all are wars. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So where we at now is where we are at war. That's my point. And it's okay. It's okay. Because I want you to understand that we have always been at war. Now I'm going to go break that down. As a chosen people, we have always been at war. In fact, if you read Exodus 15 and 3, Exodus 15 and 3, it said Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Think about that. He's telling you right there. He said Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. You really can't. If our Most High is of war, then when we go through on this earth before we find our peace, we're going to be at war because it's a test. I always tell people it's a test. I believe he's trying to get the best for his kingdom. Those who can suffer for him and fight for him, and be obedient to his word and keep his law, statutes, commandments. That's what he's looking for. He's making his selection. Not everybody can just get in. It's only a remnant from those he chooses. And you have to understand that he is an Elohim of war. So the things you go through today, whether it's a spiritual war, a physical war, social war, or global communication, the AI war, not knowing what is true and what is false today, all these things you're going to go through because he is an Elohim of war. In a peace, but the peace come later after he made a selection. So, because if you think about it, I just want you to think about all the wars that we went through as the chosen people of the Most High. I mean, think about it. You have the Joshua when he went into Exodus and the wars he had to get into the Promised Land. Entering Canaan. And the siege of the Battle of Jericho. War after war. You had the wars and judges and kings. Like the conflicts against the neighbors, the Philistines, the Moabites, and the Amalekites. Expanding the territory, the conquests of King David. King David's wars on the locals, expanding his kingdom. You had the conflicts. The two kingdoms, the northern and the southern kingdom, is split. Israel and Judah. You have you just keep going. You're going to see there's a history of us always at war, not only with ourselves and keeping these laws and statutes and commandments, but with the other nations. We have always been at war because the Bible said Elohim is a God of war. Elohim of war. That's just something we're going to have to accept. But his book says that when Christ comes back, we're going to be at peace for 1,000 years, and then he's going to judge them forever. So he has a script. But in that script, at this moment, in this time, we are at war. We have to accept that. Yeah, in war, you can keep talking about the wars of the Assyrians when we got conquered by the Assyrians, the destruction of Jerusalem, the Maccabean Revolt. All these is all during our different times in history. The first and the second Jewish-Roman War. War, war, war. We have always been at war. We can go today. Now people say, well, we're not at war today. Yes, we are. We can go back a little bit. We had the sub-Saharan slave trade. That was war against the chosen. We had the transatlantic slave trade. That was war against the chosen. And today we have the war against us to keep our people asleep. So they will not wake up to who they are and to this truth. You are still at war. And you will be at war until Christ returns. And when Christ returns, he will come with war. You know, in Exodus 14:14, it said, Yahweh shall fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. So he's saying that he will fight for you. That's when Christ comes back. That's when you will get that fight in. Not before. Not against all those who are confederate against you, because they are overwhelmingly, they have way more power. They've been doing it for over 1,000 years. They've been setting up their power sieges. So they are in a position where you can only win this war is through the Most High and through His Son, Mashiach Yahushua. That's where you at today. That is where you gotta accept. You ain't gonna win a civil war against them like that. No. But that doesn't mean you don't have to fight if you are attacked. You have to defend yourself. You have to defend yourself. You have to defend your people. You have to defend your community. Many will be lost in these wars prior to the Most High, Yahweh Shai comes back. But that doesn't mean you don't fight. And that doesn't mean that you're going to win either during your lifetime. And that's a hard thing for some people to accept, but you must fight. You're not only fighting for you, you're fighting for your future generations of your people. You're embedding in them courage. You're embedding in them strength. You're embedded in them power. That even though you may lose, you fight. The next time that battle comes, it's going to be, could be better for your children to be, because they know how to fight. They understand the fight, and they are willing to fight. And people don't want to fight people who are willing and ready to fight back. So you ingrain in them something, that lion of Judah, that sits and waits to be awakened. But for many, that lion is asleep. He's been asleep for a long, long time. And it's time for him to wake. Or the lioness of Judah. But a lioness and a male lion are still ferocious. They both are. And they both have power. But that being has to be awakened. And that being does not have fear. And only fear. Ecclesiastes 12:13. The Father. And all should fear the Father, because He is a terrible and loving Elohim. It's both. It'll be both. Like He said, He's the Elohim's war. You know, this is one of the reasons why I tell you, then I'm going to go into how we fight. Even when Christ come back, this is another thing we got to accept, that He's not coming back handing out kisses and love. He's coming back in war. You know, Revelation probably is 19, I think 11 through 16. Yeah, Revelation is 19, 11 through 16. And, you know, I'm going to read the first verse, 11, and it says, and I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat up on him was called Faithful and True. That's Mashiach Yahushua. And righteousness has doeth judges and make war. I'm going to read that last part. And righteousness he doeth judge and make war. So what is he coming back to do? Judge and make war. Now, you can read that for yourself. Revelation 19 and 11. I know the Christian church teaches you that He's coming back to give hugs and kisses. No. He's coming back to judge and make war. He's coming back to judge the nations and fight for you as the chosen people. That is why he is coming back. He said his garment will be drenched with blood as in the wine press. Why you think he say that? That don't sound like he's coming back to give out handshakes to me and hugs and kisses. Do that sound like Christ is coming back to do that? His garment gonna be drenched with blood? I mean, some common sense have to factor in on this. So what I was talking about, that we gotta wait for Christ to come back to go into the war. But that doesn't mean that we don't have to fight the battle. Meaning right now we are fighting the battle every day. But when the war starts, when the sides are picked, when we know who our leader is, we know who our regiment is, we know who our leader is, we know who our general is, we know who our colonel is, we know who our president is. Not talking about the United States, I'm talking about our chosen people. Mashiach Yahweh Shai and his 144,000 when they come back. Those are our leaders. Those will be our heads. All following under Mashiach Yahweh Shai, our general. Then we know. Then we can gather and do as we're told. Fight as we're told. If we told to fight, then we fight. If we're told to wait, then we wait. But in the meantime, we fight back. 2 Corinthians 10:4, it says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Elohim to the pulling down of strongholds." We'll read 2 Corinthians 10:5. "Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Elohim, and bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ." 10:6. "And I have in heaven in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled." So you follow Christ. Christ will cast down all the imaginations, all the things they think they're going to do, all the power they believe they have. No matter how much they exalt themselves, knowing you have the knowledge of Elohim, you have the knowledge of his power, you have the knowledge of his gift, you have the knowledge of knowing who you are, you have a knowledge of being obedient. And being obedient, you understand that the Most High, Yahweh, will take care of you. You're going to be fulfilled. You're going to be fine. And your enemies will be destroyed. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. I'm going to try to break this down in plain English. Because I know a lot of times we get a lot of Bible verses and we're like, oh, I'm confused. And what do that mean? How does that apply to me? So I always try to give people a breakdown that I believe a ninth grader can understand or a sixth grader can understand. In the military, they teach you that they try to break everything down to ninth grade level so that even not the slowest person, but it's comprehensible for everyone. And I understand that. Some people are smarter than others. So in plain English, it comes to this. We will always be at war until Christ returns. And when he returns, he's coming back to fight our nation for us, to fight the war for us, with the 144,000 and the multitude behind him. That's Revelations 19:11 through 16. Man, you can read that on your own. We know the physical and mental war. We have to prepare for that. That means we have to build our foundation to the word of Elohim. We have to build our knowledge of the truth. We have to create obedience and discipline to the Most High. We have to keep Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments. Because without keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments, we can't get an understanding of his word. You know, don't that make sense? If I don't follow the procedures of doing something, keeping his law, statutes, commandments, if I'm doing surgery and I don't follow the procedures, I'm not going to understand why those procedures are put in place. If I'm not a doctor. If I'm trying to take somebody's heart and the procedures say clamp down this vessel and clamp down this vessel, open his chest with this particular tool, use this procedure, use this method according to these laws, according to these teachings. But I decide that I don't need those teachings and I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. Do I truly understand the method of what I'm doing? Do I understand the connection to how it connects to me taking his heart and sealing out the vessel so the person won't bleed to death? That's all part of it. Understanding the procedures and the rules and the laws, somewhat the procedures are sort of like the laws when it comes to doing particular things like heart surgery or something like those are the law. Say keeps the person alive. Keep the person with a greater understanding of what they're doing. That's the same thing with your laws in the Bible. When you keep these laws, statutes, commandments, you get a greater understanding. If I don't ever wear fringes, and someone say, well, if I don't ever wear fringes, if somebody say, well, what do you think about wearing fringes? But I don't keep fringes. I can't give them the understanding of what it feels like to have fringes on. I can't give them the ideology of how fringes help me if I am committing a sin and I see my fringes. Well, I don't even wear them. I can't have the understanding of the law if I don't keep the law. I hope that makes sense to people. Nothing against nobody, but he tells you over and over again to keep his laws. And to get an understanding, you must keep his laws. and it makes sense. Now, so mental and physical. Yeah. Yeah. The thing about the body, you know, the physical war that you're going to go through could be in the future starvation. It could be in the future some illnesses. It could be a lot of things with the physical uh, war. But you're doing both. But with the physical war, it's not as lengthy because the body can only take so much punishment. So it's a limited war of physical. I mean, think about it. If I get to my pain threshold, I pass out. You get to your pain threshold, you pass out. The body automatically shuts down and you pass out. So the physical war will come and will be there. But the physical war, it is something that has power, but not as much to me as the mental uh, and the spiritual. Let me explain. Because even say if I had no one arm or two legs, there's always some kind of mechanical thing that I can use to help me adapt, or the Most High provide all those things too. You know, now He provides the knowledge for them to build those things. That's Him helping you. Or somebody may be assisting me, and the Most High provide people in your life to assist you to accomplish whatever mission that you have with the limitations that were given to you in the physical way. Even though it's an obstacle, even though it's a challenge, even though it can be horrific in your eyes, He is still providing that physical ability to be helped. So He provides the physical and the spiritual. It may not be what you want. You may not be happy with it, but He is providing. Now, the mental and the spiritual war is one you fight every second that you are awake. Hell, I think you even fight it in your sleep. You know, so you are the chosen people of the Most High. And Hasatan, the devil, is not sleeping on you. He's going to keep attacking you. You just remember the devil works 24/7. Him his dominions. I mean, I don't think they sleep. The fallen angels that come to the earth that walks around in spirit but can't eat or taste or feel, they just roam around. I don't think they sleep. So they don't take a break. Why do you think you should take a break? You know, you have to remember that this is I'm going on to how you maneuver. You must remember, this is another one. You must remember that the devil uses all his resources, which can many times mean family members, friends, associates, to accomplish his mission. He will use any and everybody to accomplish his mission, even your children. So you have to, when maneuvering through things, you have to be suspect to many things, sometimes even your family, especially if you know they ain't in the truth. And I always tell people, if your family's not in the truth, they don't know that they're the chosen people of Yahweh. If they're not practicing this truth, they're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, that means they are other. That means they are Israelites, but they're choosing to be other. And if they're choosing to be other, the devil is going to use them. Period. So you have to be careful. It doesn't matter how much you love them. They can be used. And they will be used, especially the closer we get to the end. That's why the Bible always tells you must always be vigilant. Always. It didn't say sometimes, always be vigilant. Why? Because, why? Because if you read 1 Peter 5 and 8, it said, be sober, be vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Your adversary is constantly watching you. He's constantly waiting for the opportunity to destroy you. He is waiting to fool you. He is not your friend. He does not like you. He hates you. You got something that he can never get. You can go to some place that he can no longer go. He's been cast out of heaven. He is not able to return in a way that you think. And in judgment day, he will be judged. So little old you that don't have a millisecond of the power that he has is going to be welcome to a place that he is no longer going to be allowed to go. Think about it. Yeah, he hates you. You know, some and the fallen angels hate you. Because even though they use you for their own desires and wants, it caused them to fall. You are still the cause of their fall. You know, some of you will choose to fight this war where you are. That's what you're going to do. Some of you will choose to move to safer locations throughout the world. Some of you will choose to follow scripture and return to your own nation. Jeremiah 29 and 14, Ezekiel 36:24, Ezekiel 36:24, and Isaiah 13 and 14. This is your choice, and each have their own consequences. You know, they all have their own consequences on how you decide to fight and maneuver through these wars. But I do want you to think about this little concept. If I fight my enemy in his or her territory, and I'm ex-military, if I fight my enemy in his or her territory, knowing that they have all the advantages, I have to know the outcome is going to favor them. Or I'm going to go through this, or this fight going to be 10 times harder than it needs to be. Or I can fight my enemy on grounds that are better to my advantage. I can make that choice now because I see my enemy for who they are. I know who my enemy is. And that is the main thing that you have to do at first. Acknowledge who and what your enemy is and who they are and what they're doing. You can't win a battle without knowing who your enemy is and what they're doing. You can't deny. You can't live in a fictitious world thinking your enemy is your friend when you know that they are your enemy. And you can simply go by their history. I'm not going to even go into that. You can go by their history and see who your enemy is. You can go by how they treat you today and see how your enemy is. So you must know who your enemy are. And once you figure out who your enemy are, you study them and you learn how they maneuver against them. And you plan and you prepare and you teach those whom you trust your techniques to maneuver around them. How to take advantage of situations and how to better not only your life, but those who you love lives as well. Never fully expose your plan and always have an ace in the hole. It's another thing you do. Keep your main trust in the Father, in the Most High, and let Him follow the footsteps that He gives you. That's important. Learn from your mistakes and teach others not to make the same mistakes that are following in your path, your chosen ones. Unify with those with like minds. Use your unification to others to promote the truth and the safety of those who are in the truth. That is what you do. Acknowledge who your enemy is. Study and learn and how to maneuver around them. Possibly silently. Never trust in them. Teach those techniques to others. Never fully expose your plan and always have ace in the hole. Trust in the Father and lean on Him. Learn from your mistakes and teach others not to make them. That is in your truth, that are following your steps. Unify with people like minded. And use that unification with others to promote and build to your cause, to this truth. Stay focused. Now, those are the things you must do first. And you must maneuver through these things. Now, I'm about to leave you now, but I just wanted you to think about that. You are at war. You are at war now. It ain't later. You are at war now. You are some form of war right now. Either physical, spiritual, AI, or global communication, but you are at war. Now, if you believe you are at war, you prepare for this war. You fight this war. That means when everything you do, from waking up in the morning to going to sleep, you have to understand that you are at war. You are being trained by the Most High to fight and to be a battle soldier for Him. spiritually, mentally, and physically. But you can do it. If you have your faith in him, you can do it. If you open your arms and you say, Father, y'all use me for whatever you're going to use me for, whether I lose or win according to the eyes of man. But you never lose in the eyes of the Father if he used you for something. Even though the man may say, oh, you lost, you did not lose. But if you say, you know, Father, y'all use me this day for your cause, for your purpose, for your righteousness, for your love, then you are victorious in that day. You are victorious in his word. You are victorious in his discipline. You are victorious in his righteousness. And that means you are simply victorious. And with that, Father, with that, brothers and sisters, I'm going to tell you, I hope you have a wonderful Sabbath. I hope you have a wonderful week. May the Most High continue to walk with you and keep you and love you. And with that, I want to say all praises to the Most High.